Cyber Blade. Seek the light in darkness. Cyber Blade. Seek the light in darkness.
Not from my side. Yeah, my side it's as it is normally, which is always the problem because it's a shit shit camera. Unfortunately, there's not much we can do in this situation. Ah. Devil in a red dress. Call 911, I'm a killer. You know I hate to confess. Bang, bang, got my hand on the trigger. The devil in a red dress. Call 911,
I don't know if I should be worried or concerned with the echo that's in the background. Either way, it is good to be back. It is the final day, and it's coming with a banger to finish this off. And I don't know, I'm pretty excited. From the way you sound excited too. Well, taking account this map lineup is basically when the game started, the simplicity. We all know Erangel, we all know Myanmar. They're just classics that we know. I feel this is going to make life a lot easier for these teams. There's no having to pull out another strat book or things like that. And it gives three opportunities on our most classic map to get it right, get the drops right, get a good position, but also gives us three variations of how we should be fighting. So it's all up in the air. It could change within a matter of seconds. But the big question you have to ask is Skyline going to remain on top? Is Skyline going to continue that dominant surge that they've had for a while? Okay, they too shaky, but still was able to maintain their lead.
Yeah, they didn't have the strongest performance on day two, but they were able to eke out a couple of top three finishes, which really helped them to cement their lead here. As we know, they don't have to be super aggressive these next 5 games, but they are going to have to maintain some sort of pressure in order to provide and keep themselves that cushion that they already have. 54 points. That's a lot of points to make up, but at the same time, that's two games that you really need to win. If your team ekes together 15 kills, plus that 10 first place bonus, that's a 30-point swing right there. And if potentially Dangerous can come away with that, suddenly that first place is not first place anymore.
It's a dangerous position to be in, and as you mentioned, very easy to close down. But at the same time, you still have that buffer. If you're getting the placement points, still getting some kills coming in. At the same time, Skyline could have closed this all out on day two. Well, it's in a something we have to work out down the line. But there are also some teams that are really starting to find traction. One of them being Eon, which we saw last week, where they were stepping the game up, they were coming alive, showing their potential, and they have jumped from the teens to ninth, and that is a crazy jump to go through. And in doing so, slowly closing that gap for the top 5, which I think realistically is where they're trying to get themselves at.
Yeah, it's gonna be a banger of a day. And without further ado, let us get to the action.
Well, here we go, and I'm feeling deja vu, don't you think? Immediately, the first Erangel straight into that bottom left side of the map. We're going west, and in doing so, we have just a corner of the island as well. Military base still in play, so deja vu, map 1 from day 2, and we're going again, run it back, and if there's an opportunity to get it right for the second time, this is how we do it.
Yeah, it's we've got quite the zone here. As you can see on the right side, we've got, I would say, about 90% of the teams that are out of zone at the moment. We can see a lot of the activity on the right side over here, where we've got 4 teams in a straight line, plus another 2 right next to them, plus your favorites from game 2, day 2, Eon, just kind of hanging around, hanging about. We do have Skyline just chilling, as you were saying, chilling below. You know, it's gonna put them into a great opportunity here. They don't necessarily need to get into any shenanigans, into any fights at the moment. They kind of just need to chill. We see just a little bit of shooting, but I guess it's just checking out their recoil there. And again, folks, you know, at the moment, there is a griefing rule in place so that these teams are going to be able to land, basically have amnesty for the first, you know, circle. They'll be able to loot up. They have predetermined spots. This is really going to allow us to be able to enjoy the most of the gameplay that's coming to us. If there is fighting over a vehicle that is not part of the griefing rule, but as you can see here, most of these teams have their own dedicated spots. They'll be able to loot up and start moving in, which, you know, we're gonna watch. And then as the action comes towards us, we'll get hyperactive to call with that beautiful voice that he has, and provide you a fantastic final day of the BGE League Division 1.
Yeah, the one thing I've noticed in the zone, K7 split up. They have one that did go down to the island, one central to the zone, so they've started to convene together, and I think they will keep hold of Primorsk and try and maintain that control onto the edge of the island, which, to be honest, is prime position in my eyes. It's a great place to be. You've got some good cover, and you could just hide out in this position. But the rest of his team in a bit of a dangerous spot, and in doing so, results may vary. Gonna start getting some bullets flying in that general direction, but the counterfire coming in, not gonna get too much damage and hits, but nonetheless, this is horrible for K7. This is not a position you want to be in.
No, this is certainly not the start. As you can see, Antopath getting going to be thirsted out here by Ben Ems, and Kizza and Augustix are going to be coming in, try and get at least 1 point back. We can see one more result may vary. Team member is down, and now Ben Ems is going to suffer the same fate. It looks like Prims is going to be picked up, but as we can see, you know, they're quite close to each other, so we're gonna see if Augustix is going to continue moving up and get another point for his team, or if RMV is going to be able to slip away with 3 out of the 4 members.
Well, they need to be careful. They still know the presence of K7's just around the corner, and in doing so, a good trade back and forth, and it will be Babaki getting that kill, and results may vary. We'll be happy with another knock. In doing so, taking out that SMG player. Junior has to tread carefully, tread lightly. Kizza onto the other side, just spotted him, can't get the shots in, but in doing so, the trade back and forth. Oh, that's why you've got to hit your shots as Junior, and he's been pounced on. I honestly don't know how you lose that battle.
That's the beauty of it, you know. The barrel spray is she's a feisty one. If you're not able to control it, you're not going to be able to hit your shots. But luckily for him, his other 2 teammates were just around the corner, and he's able to live again for another fight.
Deep breath. Results may vary. Nearly only losing 1 player, which isn't the worst. But they can start to claim control of this area. It's not, where they were fighting isn't a bad position to be in. Like, it's not the worst, but it's not even the best. Like, it's all right. They can hold that down, lock it down, and just stay where they are, nonetheless. But they are, as we look to the zone, they're going to push towards Quarry. A bit of a risky position because of how deep, well, first of all, we all know Quarry is deep, but it's great to have the edge of Quarry control. Like, having that, you're, of course, the road next to it, you'll have height on top. So I'm a little surprised we're not seeing results may very start pushing that direction.
Yeah, don't really know what their thought process is at the moment. Maybe they're just a little I wouldn't say panicked per se, but they definitely need to regroup here and figure out their position, as we have Happy Endings and Dub Hub in a nice little stalemate just across from the bridge. It looks like minimal damage, minimal chances for a knock here, but you know, these are two heavy hitters who were in the top 5 that, or well, at least the top 10 that need to have they need to start making moves now in order to maintain their status and make a move for the top 10.
Dub Hub last time round on Erangel did a really good job. They were able to get themselves top 3, so they're gonna look to try and replicate it. And in doing so, holding down the fortress, holding down this building to essentially preserve time. They want to make sure that they're in that latter stages rather than necessarily going for aggressive fights. And in doing so, you can see how twitchy Happy Endings are starting to become. They want to go for kills. They know it's important that they get hopefully 4 kills off the start and some decent point positioning as well. Yeah, go for the attack. See what you can do with it. Looks to be Eon rotating through, and in doing so, a little pop shots from the Happy Ending squad. Again, as I mentioned from earlier, they're just looking to see if they could get some odd picks, some early points to help them out, and anything that does fly their way, they'll take well. They'll take with pride and joy. But Eon, that looks like they've just positioned themselves into the zone. It's not the best position to be in, but it looks like they're going towards the edge of a hill, a big hill at that. So cover will slowly come to them, but they might be encroached by potentially dangerous here.
Yeah, they definitely need to keep on moving through in order to maintain the members they've got left. But it looks like VX is caught up a little bit, but I think they're still going to be able to escape through. They're going to narrowly miss the bullets from PD. Oh no, I am wrong. So now PD and Eon are going to be potentially in a fight here. As you can see, that Boatman has just suffered to the fate of HV's Dragunov. But I don't think that Eon knows that there is somebody behind them.
Potentially not. They might have had a glimpse, which is why they pushed a bit further forward, and in doing so push themselves into the compound. So it's a 50-50 because we weren't able to see their POV, and you know, we can't capture everything. There's like 60 odd players here, so many angles, many different ways to go around. But second zone has popped in, and of no surprise, it is going to stay within the main island and stay relatively west. I think a lot of teams have predicted this movement.
Yeah, you know, we're used to having so many teams in the southwest corner, but now we have it in the top, in the northeast corner, and that is because of all the water that's on the bottom left. So while it's nearly impossible to determine where going on here, while it's impossible to determine where the zone is going to go, most veteran players know that. Because of this water that's at this bottom near Pomorsk, the zone is more likely to shift again towards this top part here.
It looks like potentially dangerous and Happy Endings are getting into a little kerfuffle between each other on the map. But we're currently seeing how close these teams are situated. I say close, but it's like they have a little bit of distance between each other. But here where you're marking over, potentially dangerous and happy ending, 7 and 6. Slow down. There they are. They've spotted each other right now. They know each other. But the problem I see is Platinum Gaming. They've just come from the ferry pier, and they're slowly pushing their way into zone. And I would not be surprised if we see a third party coming into this gameplay and start to cause some damage.
devil in a red dress. Call 911, I'm a killer. You know I hate to confess. Bang, bang, got my hand on the trigger. The devil in a red dress. Call 911, I'm a killer. You know I hate to confess. Bang, bang, got my hand, bang, got my hand.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Let us get us back into the action. We're gonna go and pull up to where Happy Endings is not having the happiest of times at the moment. We can see one member knocked. It looks like another one fell to the fate of Platinum 7. We can see a member of Fully Automatic, aka Zinc, still in the middle of everything, as Zim able to take one of the Happy Ending members out. We can hear the shots going around. Reno is getting shots from the left and the right, and there it is for Happy Ending early finish. As now Zinc is getting a little taste of his own his own medicine here, as Platinum 7 is making their way into zone to try and beat out the phase 4 blue.
Yeah, you need to be careful if you are Fully Automatic. You've just dropped a player, and now there was already a gunfight in front of you. So you have to play with a little bit of cautiousness here. Make sure that you're picking your shots out carefully, and in doing so, the full kill coming through. So now they're definitely down a player. No way to revive, but a few nades just fly past in face. I would be worried if myself, but Mercury is going to fall. Now comes that full-on engagement. One left alive. He's trying to hide in the smoke, seeing if there is a possible res to bring back some reinforcements. Not going to happen. And a strong name of Fully Automatic gone and done.
I don't know if you noticed what just happened, but Amir was cooking a grenade when he got knocked. So there will be no chance as they start going down, as potentially Dangerous is not only doing that, but there's one member of Platinum 7 still up, and he's got to go through, wide open space in front of potentially Dangerous. So we'll need to monitor the situation that is ahead of us. As you can see, there's his path into zone, and it's certainly not looking like an easy one.
It's not looking easy. You can see potentially Dangerous. They're starting to pull away from this area. They know that they've got the last guy on the ropes, and in doing so, yeah, he's dropping back into the blue zone, not wanting to give away too much. And it looks to be rotating around the outside. So smart, play with the zone, heal up. Yes, it's going to take a lot of damage, but here we find it's going to be results may vary. Aggressive off the get-go, but they're down to their last limbs. That's not handy. On the edge of the quarry, I said, you don't want to dip inside, but playing on the edge is such a power position. And then just on the other side, that looks to be 8 of Affinity Esports. Haven't spoken about them today, but they usually get into the mix quite early on. So we got a 3-team battle, a 4-team battle on this quarry. One left on the results may vary, who's trying to just stay alive from the aggression of console killers.
Yeah, Baba, he's a fantastic player. Certainly holding it down for results may vary. He's going to try and hold on, maybe hopefully for at least 3 other teams to die so that he can start getting some points. But it's certainly looking grim as 3 members of the console killers are all around the outside. We can see Turbot starting to make a push. He's going to throw a stun in, which is going to allow Toms to potentially make a push. So we're gonna get their perspective here. Now we can see where Baba is, and we're gonna see Baba actually get the first shot here. Not able to take out Turbot, so Turbot able to say them's here. As we can see, he has just a sliver of health. So results may vary, not getting the results that they were looking for in game 1.
It is in their name. Let's be real. Results may vary as the zone is very quarry orientated. So now we have Eon joining this quarry battle. One on one side, and a group on one side, a group on the other. And in joining this as well, Skyline, who number 1 right now, but you could see kids He doesn't want to take that shot unless it's confident because he's got the Car 98. Oh, sorry, the boss skin. So it's all about playing it right. G, a cracking sniper that we saw last time round in the observatory position on the last game, taken down. So a critical sniper player eliminated from our #1 team, but a nades landed perfectly. Now they're down to only 2 players standing, and they need to be careful because these nades are landing perfectly. And I'm worried for Skyline. I'm worried that they're gonna get pinched out here.
Yeah, down goes T-Boat, and now it's all up to Kiddos, and he's got to make a move quick, get some smoke out so that he can make a move back to his team. It looks like he's going to follow this smoke line straight into the Wizard Hut. Not sure what you call it, but that seems to be my favorite name for it. As we can see on the right side, Izzy for Platinum 7 gets finished off, but now Eon and Skyline have a little bit of a little bit of a situation as this is going to finish off Kiddos, and I don't know if he knows that Vikelore is there. Maybe he does. He sees him, so he's gonna start taking some shots. And now console killers from behind are getting involved. So what seemed like the right push for Skyline is turning out to be quite terrible.
You've also got Soda Cans. One member of Soda Cans picking up the odd kill he was able to steal, and that's huge as well. So Skyline on their last leg with 3 teams looking their direction. I think the heals are going to start to come up, so they might be able to have one breath of fight coming on their side. But Soda Cans... Yeah, meanwhile, Soda Cans, yes, 1 player is down, pressing on the original fight from Skyline, and of no surprise, they're going to rotate that direction as well, trying to get away from potentially dangerous. And why are we all converging over to Quarry? Well, the zone's heading to Quarry. This final fight's looking to go on the edge of it.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun circle for us, but not so much for the players. Now, potentially dangerous is just throwing all of their utility. This is something that Ultimate Italian and I were talking about before, is one of the worst things that you can do is throw all of your utility without knowing where the other team is. And in doing so, potentially dangerous going very loud, outplaying all of skill over luck, while skill over luck is throwing, they're throwing their utilities straight at them. Important for all of Sam to get a double knock here, but he's not going to be able to. And just like that, potentially dangerous had needed the big game against to get these much needed points against Skyline, who is, by the way, backfilling on Soda Cans in this fight to be the 4th team on this fight. Is going to be able to collect the much needed points in front, as we can see them wiping out Soda Cans.
Skill over luck, I think they wanted Soda Cans to fight against not Skyline, so this is going to be a harder battle on the edge of the zone. With 15 seconds, we're going to get a new popped position, but nonetheless, Skyline broke out of the Wizard Hut, as you like to call it, and in doing so, found themselves a more powerful position. But the rotation to the next point where the next zone is, that's horrible. That is not looking good at all, because you've got to go out into the open and tree branch. If Tweak ain't tweaking, he's tweaking now.
Yeah, that's the story of my life in playing these games. It's always the damn tree branch. Never my skill. But I guess they needed a little bit of luck there, as their skill wasn't, too great. But as we start to focus on this final circle, as I was saying earlier, when we were looking at it, it pulled away from the south. And as we see here, we've got 75-80% of the teams, about to be in zone. We've got Skyline versus Console Killers on the outside here. Turbot can be able to knock him for the first, and you can see the triple OG being knocked as well. And just like that, Console Killer's day is done. They will finish 6th, and another strong showing, even with 3 people here, for Skyline.
Skyline were on the brink of being knocked out, and I tell you what, hats off to them. They're demonstrating why they're ranked #1 right now, why they are leading this championship, because they just can fight. They can get out of a sticky situation and take control. They've already wiped out 3 teams in the space of, what, 5-6 minutes?
Yeah,
So they are confident that they're feeling this game right now, and their next target is either going to be skill over luck, which they had a little engagement before, or they push into the compound lounge chair covered Eon. So they have 2 options of where they push.
Yeah, and they need to make the decision quickly as Phase 6 is closing. As you can see, Eon and Skill over Luck are both in zone, and Eon's gonna start hearing these shots, so they're gonna start coming out as well. As T-Boat is currently fighting everybody 1v4, so he's gonna have to. He is not gonna be able to do, as results may vary, knock him for the first member of the fight, and it looks like he and Vikelor are not gonna be able to get involved just yet, as they have to deal with these nasty peaks from Eon, Carl, friends.
Yeah, you want to be careful. Eon have just been waiting for some action, but VX gets quickly eliminated. So in doing so, over-aggression not happening too well, as it seems to be Affinity from afar getting job done. But with that information, you can see quickly Skyline are going, right, if there is in our feed a possibility of Eon players going down, this is huge opportunity for us to quickly rotate into point. And now, situated just on the outside, they have to find that timing to push in with that pressure from Skill over Luck from the outside, and Skill over Luck taking down G, their sniper, their GOAT, taken to the floor, and now Skill over Luck not only are fighting a Skyline battle, but they're also going to be fighting an Eon battle here.
Yeah, and coming behind them is Affinity, who needed a nice game here. So it's going to be quite the finish that we're having, as we can see up north, as well as the shots from Kobe towards Next Threat, as you see in the bottom right-hand corner. Next Threat is starting to get their position so that they can be the next threat the final team has to fight.
Skyline just found a very small slither of cover. They're not over-aggressing here. They want to try and stay alive just a little bit longer as 5 teams remain. Now, Gio, I thought for the moment he was going to push inside. The zone will not favor them. They're going to have to push up to the hill right in front of them. So this means we are waiting on a ticking time bomb between these 2 teams of when they push forward.
Yeah, and it's funny that Skill over Luck isn't having at least one. Like, now Tweak is going to start moving as soon as I start saying this. They're trapped. They're fish in the barrel here. You know, it's not, well, they're not necessarily easy prey. These are, you know, fish that have guns, but it's certainly quite a finish. And surprisingly here, one member of Next Threat has perished. So they only have 2 left, and they have to fight a full 4-man in Skill over Luck, a full 4-man in Affinity, and 3 members of Eon and Skyline, and 2 members of Skyline, as they're gonna start trading. It's gonna be up to D to get points for his team, but he's just not gonna be able to hang on.
Done and dusted. Now it's the top 4.
Yeah,
And it's quite strong teams. We know that Skyline can do well with 2 players, and with that information, Skyline's found a little opening that allows them to push up to Skill over Luck. And whether Skill over Luck are looking the right way. Oh, capture them while they're low, while they're trying to revive G. Cheeky 2-piece says thank you very much. Now Skill over Luck tied up in terms of players against Skyline, and critically now it levels the playing field.
Yeah, and now they're moving back towards the other Eon versus Affinity fight. So it looks like, you know, maybe not necessarily they're trying to go for, you know, first place. Obviously everyone is, but it looks like they're just trying to get as many kills as they can, because, you know, you get, like we've been saying, you know, you get 8 points plus a good finish. 8 kills and a good finish. You're setting yourself up, your team up to finish first, if not second, every tournament.
Well, they need to be careful because Skill Over Luck is starting to push up onto the Skyline squad. Now Eon's starting to push out. Eon might have some more bullets, and that will eliminate Skyline. They will finish up in 4th. Now there's a new weapon, a new sound that just got fired, not to the norm of Skill Over Luck, but in doing so, Skill Over Luck's been taken out, and we're back to the fight that we have been viewing a lot. Affinity versus Eon. Eon, 2 players remaining. It's still a doable situation, so they just need to play this right. But look at Hobby. Hobby's got this off angle, gonna start capturing Eon in a horrible position. Just can't land the shots in the position. The location given away. The P90 finds one. Is there a second to finish it off? Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Affinity Esports will take map 1.
Yeah, wow, what a finish! Quite the finishing weapon to have in the final circle, and that P90 will lead you to victory every single time. As we start to take a look at the match results, you know, Affinity with that 12, so they'll get 22 points here. Notable is Skill Over Luck with a 3rd place finish. They're gonna end with 17. Skyline, nice game, seven kills, but not as high as they wanted to finish there. But you know, 156 points to potentially Dangerous's 102, and they didn't even finish in the top 10. Will certainly help to further pad their lead.
First map done. I would say Eon continuing to do well in terms of positioning, getting the odd kills, but I wouldn't say it's the strongest of strong performances. Skylines though, they're amped up. They're ready. They're gonna come out guns blazing. So I'm looking forward to see how they continue as we head to Myanmar next.
Yeah.
Not your favorite, but I definitely do enjoy a good bit of Myanmar.
See, Miramar is not my favorite, mainly because I love the VSS. You know, everyone hates me for using it, but that's one of the reasons I love to use it. It's silent, it's deadly. If you know how to use it correctly, you're certainly forced to deal with. But with how open Miramar is, how big it is, it's one of the biggest, if not the biggest map on the rotation. It's certainly the biggest map in rotation today, but it just, you know, I can't effectively use the VSS as much as I want, but luckily not many VSS players in our game today, so we will have a lot of far distance fights. So while it's not my favorite, it will allow our viewers to have quite a nice showing.
Skill issue. Sorry,
Yeah,
that just came out.
That's quite the cold you have there. Definitely need to get you some tissues. But as we get ready for game 2, we are going to take a little break. Maybe I can work on my skill issues, and we will see you shortly.
devil in a red dress. Call 911, I'm a killer. You know I hate to confess. Bang, bang, got my hand on the trigger. The devil in a red dress.
Welcome back, everybody. We've got a fantastic game 2 coming ahead of you. I am joined again by the fantastic Hyperactive. Definitely shoot him a follow on Twitch, on Instagram, on Twitter, or X, or whatever it's being called now. All the platforms you can find him as the Hyperactive. Fantastic follower. What are your thoughts for coming up for game 2? You know, obviously we don't have the updated leaderboard below us, but we have a general idea that Skyline's going to stay in first. We could see potentially Dangerous dropping, as Fully Automatic had a bit of a better game than them. But what are your thoughts so far from game 1? What can you expect to see in game 2?
Game 1, clear as daylight that Skyline are back in full force. They're not slowing down here. They're not going to let anyone get in their way. So hats off to them. They came out strong, 4th with 7 kills, is a good bunch of points. And then, of course, potentially Dangerous, not their best game. They definitely showed presence. They showed capability. They are full running at full pelt, but it's Fully Automatic who showed up when people least expected it, had a very sneaky game plan that did take out a few of Skyline. So realistically, this top 3 should be, well, in my eyes, Fully Automatic and potentially Dangerous should be trying to get these high kill games coming through. But for whatever's happening, they just can't seem to hit their shots and get the kills that they need.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be important as we take a look. We are now on to map 2, as mentioned, which is Miramar. Lots and lots of hills, lots of open space, not many places to hide. So you're going to be expecting to see a lot of traded shots with the Bolties, with the Dragonovs, teams getting up high on the mountains near El Pozo and Monte, as they get airlifted out from the emergency pickups. So we have a lot of action coming in, and we'll get right into it. There's no deaths yet, but we're able to now see the incoming zone. It's right in the middle. Just like our first day, Hyper, we have Affinity and Platinum 7 landing in Chumacera, and things could get spicy as they usually do. You know, you can see that they're right outside. I would say about 60% of our teams are in circle, but we're gonna keep an eye on the situation. You tell me where are you landing in this situation with you know, there's no predetermined drops spots. You know, you got that flight path down the middle. What's your preferred spot in this situation? Water
treatment all day, every day. That's my go-to. If I can get water treatment, I always drop there. But if the flight path is a bit lower, I'm trying to hop onto the island. I'm trying to get to prison. I'm trying to get a bit lower. But that's my drop points. Not necessarily a necessarily good opinion you should be listening to. I play casually, nowhere near competitively as these guys.
No. You definitely have the right idea here. I too am a water treatment fan. Now we've got these two fighting as Cody is going to try and hold them off with not able to hold off Black Knight Myth as he's going to drop the member. As you can see, the rest of AFI slowly starting to get through. We're going to see if they're going to decide to make the push in or if they're just going to move on out.
Yeah, Affinity Esports, after a cracking win, this drop is a 50-50. You're up against another team straight off the get-go. It's not looking good. It's not looking comfortable. And Affinity Esports, well, they just need to pick them off one by one right now. And that's exactly what's happening here. So they're able to get one. stick together, buddy system, and then have your sniper on the far side as Zally starts pushing in, but gets caught out with the re-peek, and that's so unfortunate. Down to Emitter, left alive. He will go for the aggression, and just like that, our winners from the last map taken out early on.
I can't say that that was the right move at all for Omerta. I understand, you know, you got to go and save your boy, see if you can get him alive. But you're 1v3, no, you're 1v4 at this point. You know that your team needs those fights. You know, you gotta get away there. You gotta play that way smarter.
Tis what it is. They'll move on, and in doing so, we look at this huge map that we have ahead of us, and no one's rotating just yet. It is massively, massively early. We're very fortunate to have a little gunfight to kick things off, but let's talk areas of, powerful areas. And the first area that really catches my eye is power grid not being controlled, because you have this nice little rotation path that you can have in your pocket, and as well as that, you can start getting the hills nearby. So I would not be surprised if we see Team 18 of the Dub Hub start to take control of the power station.
Yeah, I agree there. Power station, along with San Martin, Hacienda, and Picado, centrally located, so you're going to be able to make the rotations out into any direction as necessary. We can start to see results may vary, start to move in, as well as console killers and soda cans start to come together. Graveyard and Minas Generalis in this situation are going to be hot points of contested action coming forward, as you have the church in the two churches in Graveyard that are great for control, as you're going to be able to have roof access, as well as only a few points of entry. You know, there's one on that side where Zim is. There's these two on the right, and then lastly is this one. So theoretically, you cover those angles. Not much is going to be able to get in. Sure, you can have some grenades flying through the open windows, but for the most part, you're pretty safe and central in that one, on the contrary to this one, which is only 2 levels, as we can see here. There's really no good roof access for this, so it's definitely the better of the two to control. But with that being said, it's not out of the possibilities to get on the roof, as we can see Turbot, who has traversed himself up on top, and the game not allowing me to show his perspective.
Well, I tell you what, even when you are fighting it, the Graveyard, I'm worried that Casper, the friendly ghost, is going to come up from the rear end and get hold of you, which, let's be real, talking of coming from behind, Console Killers does have one player that is behind the rest of its team. So this could be huge on this aggression towards soda cans, who are, well, they're waiting, trying to peek, get a small bit of information to come through, and in doing so, finally, the ghost from behind gets caught out, and nobody will be able to revive him.
You know, and it's a shock for Bizarre here to be going down like that. We know what type of player he is. We know that he's a good one to have. And in fact, we have another daring entry potentially going on by Triple OG. He's got to get past Zim here, so it's definitely not out of the potential to get his teammate, but it's not the smart move here, as we can see Hoot and Serm start moving over, and not to mention potentially Dangerous Academy moving in for some nice new real estate. We see Wreck taking out Hoot here, and now it's up to Serm to potentially get that shot, but as we can see, he is also on his knees.
Yeah, not the greatest position from the soda cans. They initially had full control, able to pick off one, but now with the potentially Dangerous Academy just coming in, sweeping up the control in its subsequent building, it's not feeling good. And now we have 3 teams in this very, very similar vicinity of the Graveyard. And now I'm starting to feel that there's more than just Casper in this lurking area. Maybe Frankenstein's monster is lurking around in these graves.
Yeah, you know, not to mention Casper has a fully automatic machine gun, so he's doing a
They'll
little
do
bit.
it.
Yeah, he's doing a little bit more than just haunting in this iteration. But as we can see, as the second zone starts coming in, we can see K7 moving in from the top of Campo Militar. We can see Skill Over Luck starting to move in as well. Phase 9 coming in. We'll say hello. Hopefully say hello to them today. See what they're up to. And then, of course, we've got Next Threat moving and starting to encroach on the territory of Dub Hub. But, we're going to stick around into the central location here, as this is where the most potential for action is. However, what is going on over here between Happy Ending and Skyline?
Well, Happy Ending looks like they're encroaching on Skyline's territory.
Yeah.
I think that's the simple way of pushing on it, but trespassers are not allowed when we're playing by the US laws, which is shoot on sight. Hence why I live in Canada. Hence why I don't touch soil from the American boys. But nonetheless, you can see it's just information right now. Happy Endings trying to weigh up. Is this an opportunity to push in? Do they know that G is just on top of the hill from as far away? But Havs is going to say, thank you very much. That's one free and easy kill. Can he get the confirm? Oh, that accuracy's as good as mine.
Well, it wasn't so much an accuracy problem as that window being boarded up. So, the thought was there, but,
He's dude perfect, man. He's dude perfect. Trying to trick shot.
Yeah, trick shot right back at him. And, in this scenario, I don't think it was necessary, as it involved a grenade, but we can see G knocking HV, so we'll get T-Boat's perspective here to see if he's gonna make a move.
Yeah, of course he will. He'll get the opportunity to get that information. Nade's starting to cook. One good land might be able to take out that player down. It's not going to happen. They quickly pop up, but just like that, the drop shot comes through. But thankfully, has got the trade with a millimeter of health to help him out. What a battle that has become. And now the two Skyline members from the outside have realized that there is more people encroaching on this position. So there's zero. Well, not zero, but it's a very dangerous position if they want to retake this compound. And just to make matters worse, Gio's been caught off guard, and he's been taken out. And a third party has just started to come in from potentially dangerous, who wants the #1 off from the top.
Yeah, and we're going to see Vikelor is actually going to be saved a little bit here, thanks to potentially dangerous. So he is doing the move that we were expecting Omerta from earlier in the game to be doing, and he is running away, and he has a rocket launcher, so we're gonna tune in on that real quick. But maybe
rocket launcher.
maybe see something fantastic as the bombs are bursting in air. Let's see if it flies true. But it looks like he's just going to bounce on out of here, and we're gonna have a little bit of a regroup. But while we were watching that, we saw soda cans perish to console killers here. As you can see, they are taking over the main church, and there seems to be only one member of potentially Dangerous Academy alive. So a lot has been happening around the map as these teams start to rotate into the next zone.
Yeah, that zone moving further and further east. Impala unoccupied. Definitely some free loot lurking around there. Another good spot actually to drop down. So if you need some advice, drop down at Impala if it's in a great, if you have the opportunity, because yeah, it's on the side of the map, but I've always been getting good and juicy loot. But the fight is really coming down with Happy Endings trying to shoot from a three-way battle here, because yes, we've got potentially dangerous on the hill. We've also got fully automatic on a hill, and look who just pulled up in the neighboring compound. That's Team 10. Results may vary. Everything is just coming towards this one little group.
I'm gonna need to start playing with you when you start dropping in Pollock because I just don't get that same luck. You could say that my results may vary when I go there.
Funny.
Yes. As the next zone shifts down south, we can see potentially dangerous Linkadox, the team leader, team captain, getting knocked or rezzing a member here. But he was knocked. But we can see here, K7 right next to them. They've got results may vary to their right, as well as next threat fully automatic. But we start to see the rotation start to happen. We can see quite a nice and interesting spot for skill over luck. But it makes sense here because if you can control who's coming from behind you, you get this nice little ridge and you have a nice little escape route that will help you out once the next zone comes in.
Yeah, and the team that's driving in might be able to pick off skill over luck if they're not careful. So you said how important it is to make sure you're looking behind, and that's just another example of how desperately important it is. But we're watching Kinetic 7 as they've been trying to get some kills coming through. They're the ones who've been sitting inside the compound. Shots going out from afar. They know the rotation has pulled through. They're not going to do anything too much. They're happy. They're in zone. Why the hell do you want to move when you have a good little compound which has sightline galore around you?
Yeah, Gav gets a nice little triple shot on Bence here. But as we start to turn towards this area and we get a nice little overhead shot, we've got the only locals making an appearance here as Hey is getting the angle on VX here, but he's not going to be able to as long as VX keeps hugging that wall.
He's going to hug as much as he wants. It looks like he's lost a life for his team. Just going for placement positions, making sure that he can reach at least the top 10, give himself a little bit extra, and Eon can slowly still maintain or climb the board. But this is where the real fight's coming through. One onto the road, one onto the far side of the compound, really starting to do some damage. So you have to start hiding console killers. I think they've pulled up at the wrong time, and in doing so provoked Kinetic 7 and skill over luck. I'm worried. I'm worried for these guys.
Not to mention they have next threat that is just slowly creeping in on them from the right side. But we can see Augustix getting knocked here from members of Team 7. So, everyone is it's just a matter of damaging everyone's their armor here. This is what I call just armor battles. You might be able to get lucky and get a kill, but for the most part, you're going to be just damaging everyone's armor. Now, as we can see with the next zone that came in, we can just see, only locals Hey finishing off Eon. So not the finish that they needed. But as teams start to come in, very limited space to operate within buildings. We can see that the corner where Happy Endings is, and we can see, Droppa we'll check in on Droppa. But there's just really not anywhere to go in terms of building coverage, and with Miramar being so open, you just gotta hope that your hills and your area that you're hiding is high enough so that you're not gonna be picked off.
Kinetic 7 still safe and sound within their compounds. They're not having to move, so they can start to continue putting pressure on the console killers. If they can spot next threat behind, they're 100% going to be going for that kill as well. But yeah, Droppa left alone, not as playing zone by zone, just making sure he's creeping his way forward. So we're not going to be too stressed and worried about that. But fights are starting to break out. We're starting to see console killers, as they have to rotate, they're being picked off out in the open, and of no surprise, low on health, their vehicle destroyed, and it looks like they're not going to be able to get out.
Yeah, we'll come back to it in a second, and we'll pick the action up then. Alright, welcome back. We've got quite the finish ahead of us. We can see this final zone coming in as we see Happy Endings and Droppa finishing off their fight. He was able to take one, but he wasn't able to take one with him. Now we can see that the only team within this final zone is potentially dangerous. We can also see that there's still the one member of Skyline still there. And he's actually going to be able to pick up a point here, I think. No, he's just going to continue laying his little ditch as he continues to try and rack up points for placement for his team. We've got a nice fully automatic versus Happy Endings game coming at you, or fight coming up. So we'll stick around in this area as they start to move closer to each other. But let our good friend take it.
Well, Immortal gonna get that first peak of information, has to back down that hill, so no surprise. Seems to be fully automatic, taking it slow. Realize the aggression that's coming from Happy Endings is not worth that battle, but you gotta be careful, and you've marked it out on the map very well. It looks to be a third party from that compound once again, as K7 just lock it down. Ghost, just a little tag here and there, nothing too much, but again,
Trouble.
you have to be patient as more trouble. Yeah, you are right, in trouble. That's going to be skill over luck. Stuck in the middle of nowhere with everybody beaming onto them of no surprise. They're going to fall here. There's not much they can do in this scenario. You've got K7 pressing on them as well. You got the Dub Hub pressing on them. You got potentially Dangerous pressing on them. And oh my god, just in the background, Skyline just misses out on the points, so no points for them.
Oh no. Well, you know, you gotta hope that they got a couple points. You can see there's Vicolor's body right there. Ran into K7. You're really gonna, you know, we laugh, but there really is no cover. You have to remember that all of these hay bales that look like this right here, they are all destructible. So one grenade finishes them off, or if you're hiding behind them and, you know, some team comes driving through, you can't hide behind them anymore, as they are destructible and someone will just drive right through them. In the meantime, though, as the rest of these teams are coming in, we've got only locals fighting the local area.
Yeah, and in doing so, results may vary, but will have the upper hand. They don't have the blue zone that's really keeping them down. So if you are only locals, you want to stay alive, and it is Hay trying to get himself out of the zone. No, they fall to zone.
Just not able
So no points will help any team here. So if you are, results may vary. That's gonna sting. That was 2 kills they could easily have control of, and in doing so, you could see how quickly the Dub Hub moves away from their rivals and go, you know what? Now that fight and those third parties are over, let's go back to our compound of safety.
Yeah, but notice that they are still out, and somehow, by the PUBG gods, there are still 3 members of skill over luck alive. But, you know, Shank able to get that nice MK14 shot, or yeah, MK12 shots, and is able to find Marco through the smoke. We've got Next Threat just hiding out next to their car, not in zone, by the way. But a new piece of cover has fallen in the field right here in the form of a care package. So it'll be interesting to see if anyone's going to be able to get to it, who's going to use it. As we can see, potentially dangerous, already 2 crate guns about them. Let's see if Sparkles has many shots left. He has 6 shots of that Lynx, and I don't know about you, but I never want to hear a Lynx on a game if it's not in my teammate's hand.
You definitely don't want it, especially a Gilly as well. Oh, misses the shots, and a revive will come through, and that's going to be able to keep them alive just for a little bit longer. But again, potentially dangerous. They're in a prime position here. They're just on the edge of the zone. They know everyone has to start pushing them. And Sparkles, he's eyeing up some possibilities here. Just can't get the kills, can't get the damage come through. Now next threat has to start running out into the open, so some tags come through. It's potentially dangerous. Again, prime position being on this west side as you've got the hills on the back, so you've got cover to protect you. And then an open field, which is where we will be fighting. So very quickly, I feel 4 teams will drop as results may vary. Starts to make that push. They're going to look to try and overthrow the compound, claim it as their own. There's a quick push to the outside. Do they know one's inside the building? They might do soon. Ben doesn't know. Ben is not aware, and it's just on the other side of the wall. Potentially dangerous sit.
There's 4 teams fighting right here.
Happy Endings pushing in as well. They've just lost 2, and they're going to die to the zone, and that's critical. It's potentially dangerous. They're able to stay alive. 9 kills to their names, and a lot of people down on the floor. We just see Team 6 of Happy Endings disappear as well, and this will leave. The results may vary just on the edge, but in doing so, DubHub also started to push in on that location as well. A lot of teams trying to claim that last bit of cover, and it will go down to the bittersweet end. Somehow, potentially dangerous, have got another kill done and dusted. 4 from potentially dangerous. 4 from Kinetic 7, who've been sitting inside of a compound for so long. 1 left. Well, I was about to say 1 left for Team 9, but they're taken away. Next threat crawling through. So the reality shows potentially dangerous versus Kinetic 7 to fight it out. But this zone has to close and start closing to give Kinetic 7 their advantage.
Yes, another piece of cover floating in, but it's not going to necessarily help them. Now, I don't know if K7 knows that there is someone to their left, but potentially dangerous has all of this open field in front of them. I don't think that care package is going to be able to hold all 4 members. So you will start to see the smoke start coming out. You'll start to see the cars being driven. But as we get focus on the Kinetic 7 players, we can see the bullets are already starting to fly.
Yeah, a lot of the ammunition is starting to go out. We know Kinetic 7 has been pop-shotting quite a lot from before. Of course, potentially dangerous have had to be in a huge fight, but they're starting to rotate, trying to get themselves inside the circle. This is where things really start to spice up. Who is going to be the first to fall? They're able to pick up the P90. Oh, that's beautiful to have, but a lot of bullets flying past his head. He's going to have a skin fade by the end of it. A Gilly out in the open. Zagav's going to call that out, but all while this is happening, next threat still has 1 player on the outside who's watching this all unfold. He can wait patiently here until this fight really boils down.
Yeah, he's going to get the opportunity to move in as both teams knock 1 player each. The ending that we're hoping for is here for Miramar. As we can see, it's just a field of smokes in front of all of their field of dreams. They've got 1 member moving up, but now let's get back to Hyper as he gives us the final call. There is Kizzy as he tries to get.
Yeah, you can see next threat just on the edge, just trying to make sure they can stay within this battle. This is dangerous territory as well, but here we go. Potentially dangerous. More players on their side, but all it takes is 1 lurker to over-aggress, and that's exactly what's happened. Kizza able to find 1, knock it down, and now it's back to a 3v3. Big down 2v2 now as they trade back and forth in the middle of the field. They're starting to push over the crevice, and that's all they need to do. 1 little peek of the head, and the bullets start flying. And all while this is happening, again, remember, next threat finally gets taken out. The 2v2 can start to focus up. The red is going to be a lot harder to pull through. Gav overextends. Has to back in. Will finally fall. Down to one left of the kinetic 7. He's out wide. He's out in the open. The revive will come through. And there's not much of a hill to play off here. You've got to be careful of your gust sticks.
Oh, he just threw a utility that shows where it comes from, too. So now Paulo Sam and Sparkles will know where he is.
It's quickly rotated, though. So he's backed out and able to reposition himself. He's got the eyes of one. Now he's giving his way position more. This hill is what's going to be the saving grace for Augustin.
Oh, and you know
Playing his time.
Was giving that info, too.
Play the information. There's more information. Starts to get the shots in. Can't get it done. He's got 4 kills to his name. He's stuck in a diving around the hill. And this is this mound. It's barely a hill. I don't even call it. What do you call it? A mound? A little divot? Not even a divot. It's
hill.
not a hill. It's so small, but they're going to push up together. More damage comes through. Half health down to the end, but it can't be done. 2v1. Potentially dangerous, gets the chicken dinner and starts closing the critical gap against Skyline.
Yeah, 24 points for potentially dangerous there. A much needed win. As you can see that Skyline put up a nice little donut for this game. So they're going to be able to close that gap. It's going to, hopefully the Twire gets updated and we'll be able to see it. But you know, this critical finish for them, along with the kills, is going to help propel them close the gap, as you were saying. K7, they had a fantastic finish here. They're going to end with 18 points. Next threat, they you know, only 2 kills here, but a top 3 finish, which is important for those placement points. But map 3, back to Erangel. We've got a good one coming back at you. We're going across the pond for this one into the EU servers, and we will see you when we come back.
Call 911, I'm a killer. You know I hate to confess. Bang, bang, got my hand on the trigger. The devil in a red dress. Call 911, I'm a killer. You know I hate to confess. Bang, bang, got my hand. Call
welcome back everyone for the 13th game, aka Game 3, Day 3. We're in Europe. We're in Erangel. We're in the final stretch of the BGE League Div 1. Hyper, what a game that we had for Miramar as potentially dangerous, pulling off the dub and able to bring it home, really shrink that gap between them and Skyline.
Yeah, that is a huge gap that they can start closing it down. Of course, the scoreboard below still not updated as we bang at the observer, not the observers, the admins to get it updated. But beside the point, potentially dangerous. They situated themselves in a strong position, which was desirable. A lot of teams wanted to come at them. They wanted to take control of that little compound. There was a little bit of giving away of their position, but in doing so, we're able to step up, lock down, to keep that pressure going, and then once they were able to clear everyone off, they have sightline galore. So perfect place to be. And thanks for their drops and thanks to their rotation, because it just worked out the way they wanted. Though the final fight, that got a little scary. That got to the point where it was RNG and a little bit of luck on their side.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of drops, we're going to take a look, as we were talking about. We are going to Erangel. It's quite the beautiful map, in my opinion. We'll cut over there shortly, but right now the teams are flying in there, so there's not much to report. But I have high hopes that our admin will update our Twire, as well as high hopes for some good fights and really just top-notch action here as we move to the gameplay. As we can see, the zone. Oh my! 40% of the next zone is in the water. K7 Gav early to the zone already, but we're going to see a lot of rotations for the teams to be going towards Severny shooting range. In this area, there's a lot of hills. But a lot of the teams, obviously they're going to be right here. So it's just going to be a matter of, is the zone going to be going towards the southwest, or is it going to be going towards the southeast?
Well, I tell you what is really critical as well. My favorite drop spots in just in zone.
Stalbert?
Yeah, Stalbert. That's my favorite drop spot. I love dropping there, and especially the redesign is perfect. Exactly what we want to see. But it's going to be a lot of rotating. A lot of fights will start to form on the edge of the zone. We'll see them starting to get all close and personal. I'm talking of fights to kick things off. Next threat. Able to find a lonely result may vary of Primus. Not helpful, but I don't know why Primus was left there by himself with no one not close by.
You can see the rest of his team starting to rotate now, so wasn't sure if Next Threat just knew they had an opportunity to snipe a quick point there. But certainly an interesting strategy, especially knowing that I would say about 90% of the time, yep, there it is. There's a vehicle in this garage right here, which you'll see Don't Miss start to go for a rotation on. As we can see, D is already out of dodge. So not sure what he was doing. We can see the rest of these teams starting to rotate in. Skyline, not the circle to be on Military Island, so we're going to be watching them as they start to make a rotation in via emergency pickup or vehicle.
Yeah, I'm going to get a few emergency pickups, especially at military base. There will be one dotted around, but here we have another minor kerfuffle coming through. This is not the day for Eon. Yes, they did well on the very first map, but once again, they've lost an early player. Not to the floor, but I tell you what, revenge is sweet. Is a good tag down will remind FaZe 9 that you don't mess with this squad.
Yeah, an early fight for them, as we can see Blurty and Friends' Gifts, a latecomer for Team 14 coming in late. A member that was AFK, so not really sure how you go AFK in the final day of the best league in one of the best leagues for console gamers in the world. But here we are, so he'll get a nice little point, and 2 of the 4 Eons, we can see the rest of them. Eon Hyper, I think Hyperactive might be doing a little bit of moonlighting here, but 2 of the 4 of Eon members not able to get away, as Team 14 getting those much needed 2 points.
Oh, I talk positively about Eon with the way they play, and I'm not sitting here as a commentator saying they are the greatest team in the world. Hell no. They're clearly Skyline are the ones leading this tournament, so that will demonstrate it. But there is hope and promise for these guys. That's a great way to get things going. A little drive-by as Hyper who is able to get 1, and now they start pushing into the compound, but they will be forced into a horrible situation. Can Hyper keep it going with a bittersweet end? Oh wow, what a game from Hyper and the team Eon to get a few great kills under their name.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, not confirmed. Still 1 alive from the Dub Hub. I don't think they even expected Eon to push into the compound.
Yeah, it looks like Hyper's gonna be able to get 1 more point potentially on Shank here, but he still has Zach Baby and Boatman to contest with. Boatman, one of the best snipers that I've seen in the tournament. He'll get a grenade that goes past him, or Hyper will get a grenade that goes past him.
Oh wow!
Just absolute laser beams from Hyper here. As he's got more. I'm just not gonna leave away from him. He's having the game of his life and takes out Fade here. But Boatman,
it's the name.
Yeah.
It's the name. It's the name. Anyone who named Hyper is gonna absolutely fry. He is the beta version of the name, of course, because come on, man. I'm number 1. But nonetheless, what amazing picks to get 3 points. And the thing is, if he gets placement points as well, that's even better for himself. Just to add insult to injury. And now we're seeing only locals start to converge on the location. We're seeing that the Dub Hub gets taken out fully, so more information. I don't think they realize that all this chaos has been caused by one guy. No. One guy who's upset a lot of teams here.
No, they certainly do not. But now Blurty Jr. starting to get into the fray. As only locals, they pulled up with their 2-man, looks like Haya and Ola, starting to get into it a little bit. But if only they knew about the absolute demon that is in Grandma's house right now, they wouldn't necessarily be making this push. So we'll continue to watch what happens, but I think Hyper might shock us again. However, he doesn't know that Hay is looking at his backside, but not sure if Hay really knows that they're there. Again, we're just gonna watch and see what happens with, of course, Hyper giving.
Well, Hyper having to hide inside of the toilet. Honestly, I'd be pooping myself at this situation, but he's still confident, still ready for more battles to come forth, and he has the advantage here. They have to push onto him, so he doesn't have to over-aggress. Play by those windows and slowly take the picks where needed.
Yeah.
Only locals overextended there. You just saw for a brief moment an opportunity, but this might be a free kill. This might be a free opportunity. Thank you very much. An extra point for himself. 4 kills now. And now another player coming in. Hyper ducks. He knows he can't go for the full attack. Starts spraying more down.
Oh, and I don't know if you just noticed that potentially dangerous just eliminated skill over luck. So lots of action still going on all over the map. We'll tune in as quick as we can as the next zone is going. In fact, we've got Happy Endings versus Soda Cans right now, as two members of Soda Cans are down. Zim and Pulse trying to keep the pressure on, provide that support. It looks like that drop shotting one, but Zim able to get one from behind.
More coming through.
Oh,
More will start to push into this point, as you can see. Soda Cans still have a player alive of Zim. Gonna make sure he's got that information. Make sure he's got those 3 kills. Now he knows exactly where another player is. Has to back away a little bit more, but that's a sightline go more. So not a confident position. Soda Cans quickly eliminated. They say goodbye, but still Hyper remains alive for Eon, away from zone, and he's got a vehicle to escape.
yeah.
All that hard work has paid off, but it's a large and a huge rotation to move.
Yeah, they've all got to go in. We're gonna check in on potentially Dangerous Academy, as Kizzy has decided to hotbox all of that house. It doesn't look like Jarappa is part of the is enjoying it, but as we can tell, it's a complete whiteout here, as Jarappa is trying to get the drop on the last member of Next Threat. But right now we've got quite the stalemate.
Yeah, stalemates will start to come out. A lot of teams will be hesitant to make those moves, and Kizzy, of no surprise, he doesn't want to be moving. It's a nade! It's a nade! Oh, my heart starts to go. The hell is happening? And now they know that he's tagged down and he can't pull out a weapon.
Oh, just the timing of everything. Because what do you do there? Do you go for the health? Do you pull your gun out? And we kind of saw that all racking through his brain there, as well as him saying, "Oh shit, a grenade," and I think at that point you just gotta pull out your gun and pray that you're shooting a whole line of people. But as we check back up top, we can see the only locals going for a nice little swim, as Hay falls victim and has to start swimming. Fun fact for those that don't know, you can res in the water, but not really a good idea. We can see
Not recommended.
Hyper's still alive right here, as the console killer getting a couple shots on Skyline as they start to make their way into zone. Again, we'll take a look at this. We've got all the teams in the southeast, and the northeast, and that zone, 20% still on the water, which is quite surprising. But I think no surprise, once this next one comes in, it's going to be about this area. But in the meantime, Skyline and potentially Dangerous about to have a little fight.
Play at the shooting range. This is where the guns are meant to be tested, not necessarily at a person. Gun safety, ladies and gentlemen. Remember about that and teach your children if you are from the States. If you're from everywhere else, we don't have that problem. But nonetheless, we see Dangerous going to crest over the hill, and look at this sightline galore. Easy kills, easy frags, and they say thank you so much. There's only ones left alive inside the blue zone. Eliminated. Will we see?
Nem coming through with a big 3-piece here, taking out their direct competition, who, again, 0 placement points here. So a big swing for potentially first place here. We'll have to continue to watch, as obviously no placement points yet for potentially Dangerous, but they are being very dangerous, and they are certainly looking to take that first place spot from Skyline.
I'll tell you a team that's really stepped up today. Kinetic 7. Once again, putting themselves in good zonage, good positioning. They're very happy, and I'm loving what they're doing. Is hello, hiya. I was gonna make the point that Hyper for the Eon squad could play the water game, and it's exactly what Hiya is doing. Gonna find himself a free kill, and then scurry back in like a mermaid, find peace and quiet within the water. But it's not a bad strategy. How often do you see a player hiding in the water? The answer is very low, but you gotta stay close to the beach. Otherwise, you can't get out.
No, yeah. He's doing his best crab impression here. He's scurrying out of the water, get that quick kill, get that quick meal, and then scurry right back in. You know, they say that crabs are the rats of the sea. You know, which we proudly will take. So you know, we'll rat a couple kills here and there, but a nice little point for Haya for his team. But we've got the next zone. As predicted, it was in this area. The next one's coming in. But Ola getting said hello to by Triple OG on the console killers. Didn't even really see that there were still another member of Only Locals Alive, as they got quite separated there. But now Hyper getting a couple shots on members of AFI, but we'll stay here, but we'll also track the rotations of these teams as they start coming in.
He's inside of a shed right now for the Eon squad, so no surprise that eventually he will get naded and pushed out. But shooting range seems to be the hot spot that everyone wants to get to. But we're starting to see a few rotations coming through, a few teams starting to push to that west side as they realize that everybody just seems to be on the east. So why not? There's a lovely compound not too far away on the west. There you go. See, look at that. A little free hiding spot. I would take that all day, every day, and let them come to me.
And a nice little care package too. So it's just a matter of time. Oh, we got fully automatic, running into the fully automatic weapons of Results May Vary. And now console killers starting to get into it as well, and potentially dangerous coming from the bottom side. So quite the predicament for console killers here. Results May Vary.
Yeah, you gotta be careful not to over-aggress though, as console killers just came from the zone, so they're not the prime position, because now they have to quickly find places to situate themselves, as not only are you getting attacked from the front, but potentially dangerous. Well, they're doing exactly what their name says, is being pretty dangerous as they keep the pressure going and slowly start to creep in and almost chokehold this console killer squad into a horrible situation and a decision of, do we attack forward or do we attack behind? But right now, cancel on the grenade and goodbye to the console killers, as potentially Dangerous weren't able to get too much from it.
And Sparkles not only able to finish off the console killers, but he's able to finish off Results May Vary as well. And it looks like No Recoil is just stuck all there. Free point for somebody, but it looks like whoever knocked him is going to be able to get that point. No one else really seems to be able to get to him. We've got potentially Dangerous Academy to the left of potentially Dangerous. Speaking of the good games of Kinetic 7, they took out Happy Endings. So now as we take a look at our zone, we can see that Phase 7 is down below. We can see just No Recoil just dying. We've got AFI starting to make this rotation, but they've got to be careful as Baby Joey is driving towards Kinetic 7 here. Hobie trying to cause a little bit of distraction. We can see Hyper on the move, and we can see Haya as we'll follow him here. I wonder if he has probably seen Omerta. But we can just see how close they are, but yet no shots being fired. Haya just trying his best to get as many placement points as possible. Maybe get a kill steal or two, but for now he's just going on a nice little solo run to the rest of the open area on the map.
Yeah, right now, all you're looking for is just quiet space, an advantageous position where you can hide and not get too engaged. And the same situation for Hyper. He's just listening for any third party to come through. Unfortunately, he's been aggressive off the get-go. Finally, Eon will get eliminated, but for 7th, that's not bad. But very quickly, we see the potentially dangerous Academy getting eliminated too. So K7 doing some good work, but they need to be careful. There's Affinity.
The
That
grenade
nade
is
might
in.
land.
The
That
grenade
nade
is
might
in.
land. It lands good, but it doesn't do the damage needed. Just short.
I mean, how lucky can you be there? Just, you think you have it. We'll follow this grenade. It looks like it's going to be short as well. So now not only are you losing all of your utility here, but you've got to start worrying about the teams coming from above, because we can see the shots coming in from potentially dangerous from above.
Yeah. Potentially dangerous know their objective today. High points position, mass amount of kills, and this is why we're seeing them be aggressive. We're seeing them go for every third-party engagement that they can come across, and in doing so, tagging up, get some damage, and making sure teams are aware of this situation. So there is still that comeback story that potentially dangerous are wanting to pull forward, and what a way to do it than to have Sparkles with the Dragunov. I know it's not a common favorite, but I tell you what, when you hit and land, it does some damage.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, especially under 200 meters where that Dragunov is a one-shot headshot, it's just absolutely beautiful. We're gonna see him back off here. Is unbeknownst to him, the arm was directly trained at him. But for me, the Dragunov AK combo is slowly becoming one of my favorite combos to run in-game. So you can definitely see why these pro players are using it. It's that high damage. It's slower velocity bullet than the SLR and the SKS, but it packs more of a punch.
More knocks going in favor of Kinetic 7. They just need to finish it off as we start to see Affinity Esports start to put pressure onto this Kinetic 7 side. And Antop falling down to the floor. Gav down to a little bit of help from this Kinetic 7 side. As they're trying to make that aggression. 5 kills for Gav, so yes, success for the full knock and the full kill. So they're going to be happy with it. But they're still pinched. They're on this hill. There's not many places that they can go. They're going to have to think outside the box here. They might have to use a little bit of the zone to start making this rotation come through, or you start going straight forward and head towards the action. That nade looks good. It's doing a good amount of damage, but just not enough to kill.
Yeah. Ooh. We've got bleeding out all over. Bleeding out all over is it's all up to Baby Joey as Kizza and teammates need to start healing up as the zone is coming in. He's got Baby Joey on the top side of him. He has no idea though. Maybe he'll see him, maybe he won't. Meanwhile, potentially dangerous and no mercy of Platinum 7 just getting
Baby Joe is wrap. Baby Joe is wrapped. This is huge. I don't think they realize he's behind him now. This might be used as a little bit of a safety net, but that shield 100% going to give away his location. Starts to fire his bullets. Now Baby Joey left alone in a 1v2, because you have to remember the other member of K7 down on the floor as a quick 4 people taken away, which was done by potentially dangerous getting involved in the fight with Platinum 7. But just as we saw, we're down to 4 teams, and once again, potentially dangerous are looking the strongest right now, and a rematch comes into play. Potentially dangerous versus Kinetic 7.
Yeah, and I don't know if you realize this as well, but in the bottom left-hand corner of that screen, it shows 14 kills. Nem leading it well with 8. They are absolutely cruising through this lobby right now, and they are racking up the points left and right. They're getting a minimum of 14 points here, which is going to further close the gap between them and Skyline, which, by the way, I don't know if you noticed, they're not here right now. They are missing out on crucial points. So as long as potentially dangerous keeps on doing what they are doing, they are they're going to sweep up this final. However, there are two wild cards here between Kinetic 7 and potentially dangerous in the form of fully automatics Zinc and only locals Haya, who looks to potentially be taking a little bit of a hello towards potentially dangerous.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna stand too long for this fight. He's here for placement. He's got to fourth. That's great bundle of points plus that one kill. If Haya can get an extra kill, this is great. This is absolutely what they want to see. But right now, both sides just taking the edge. Oh, that's critical! That's critical! As Haya gets a free kill, but it's not confirmed. So unfortunate, but that gives away a location. K7's gonna be like, hang on a minute, we just saw in the feed that potentially Dangerous just went down, and look how quickly K7 are booking it down to the southwest side. They want to capitalize on a down player, but quickly they slow down as they know that it's taken them a little too long, so they have to play it carefully here. Who's up front? It's Linkadox. He will be the first to get a form of information. He'll be the first to know where this K7 squad's coming from. As Gav, he's about to crest the hill. He's about to give away a location. K7 drops one, Gav to the floor, and the confirm goes through. But just when you think it's done, Link has got another and a teammate to back him. And K7 on the back foot.
Yeah, not only that, but Zinc is Zinc's. Well, I thought Zinc would kind of be pushing, maybe get into it, as that was the final fight. As it's now Zinc versus 3 potentially dangerous members, as they made short work of Kinetic 7. So now the final fight, Kinetic or potentially dangerous versus fully automatic Zinc, who certainly has the zone on them, but it's a 3v1, and with how well they're playing, I've got to put my money on potentially dangerous.
I think everyone's putting their money on potentially dangerous. I don't realistically we love all our players. We love fully automatic and what they're capable of doing, but Zink has got nothing. It's a game of cat and mouse. He's trying to survive as long as he can. See if he could draw maybe one player out, but look at the smoke. But hello, Zinc able to get one. This is huge. This gives him a little bit of an opportunity here, and in doing so, he can pop a few of his own smokes. Oh my god, how many smokes? How many?
That's a lot.
I can't see it past 5 meters.
The grenade narrowly missed Sparkles and Nem. That would have certainly changed the tide of this final zone. But we can see the smokes dissipating. Zinc takes down Linkadox, and we've got quite the finish here.
It really is. Zinc still alive, still can make this 1v3 clutch possible. Able to get the second down to a 1v1. There's a possibility, the hope, the dream. They'll be able to bring fully automatic up to the top, gets the early damage, gets the early kill, but it doesn't happen. Potentially dangerous 3 in a row. Holy mackerel, they're clawing back, and Skyline are not safe.
Yeah, a little bit of desync at the end there, but I didn't even see the gun from Sparkles come up. But that's what happens when you're changing the different map locations, or the server locations rather. But look at that, nearly 40 points for potentially dangerous. Hopefully we can get that the Twire updated, because I would be shocked at this point if Skyline is still in first place. They are not playing as strong as they were expected to. I mean, Linkadox, Nem, Sparkles, Paulo, Sam, they have a quarter, basically a quarter of the kills went to them. Everyone else had scraps. I mean, results may vary. They had 7, but when you look at the rest of these teams, there's nothing.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely not a great position to find yourself in, and in doing so, Yeah, Skyline need to pull something out the bag, but potentially dangerous. Aggression was what I said that these guys need to do. That's exactly what they're doing. Hats off to them. They're frying this game, but we're going to hop into a short break while we set up the next lobby, and we break down a little bit more after the break.
Yeah, sounds good.
Devil in a red dress. Call 911, I'm a killer. You know I hate to confess. Bang, bang, got my hand on the trigger. The devil in a red dress. Call 911, I'm a killer. You know I hate to confess. Bang, bang, got my hand. Call red dress. Call 911, I'm a killer. You know I hate to confess. Bang, bang, got my hand on the trigger. The devil in a red dress. Call 911, I'm a killer. You know I hate to confess. Bang, bang, got my hand, bang, got my hand. Call
Welcome back. As you can see below, still no update, but we are certainly yelling at our admins to get it together, to provide it to us. But we are headed to quite the finish here, as we saw in game 2, potentially dangerous, taking another victory here. Skyline nowhere to be found, but last week we saw them have a strong game 3, and so maybe this game 4 is for them. We certainly have a lot to look forward to, but what are your thoughts on what we've seen so far?
Potentially dangerous, being dangerous as they should be. They've closed down the gap by far. 40 points definitely in the bag, while Skyline really haven't made too much of a lead gain. But if this is the time to turn it around, this is the exact moment, because potentially dangerous, I worry what they can do if you leave them to yet another Myanmar. As we look at our beautiful map list once again, Myanmar is our 4th map. Well, in retrospect, round 14 of this 3-day series. I probably should have changed that to round 14 to make it more visibly appealing, but some people like this map, some people hate it, some people want to drop it in Impala, some people want to drop it at the prison. What is your expectation going into this, especially with the way potentially dangerous are pushing themselves?
Well, we're certainly going to have an interesting one, as we'll get to the map very shortly. The flight path was not what one would say would be good for Miramar, as this is very southern, but I think we're going to have another dominant performance here from potentially dangerous, just based on the data, aka what our eyes have been seeing the past couple rounds. They're feeling strong, they're feeling good, they're ready to fight, they're playing as a team. Linkadox really doing well with his team and his leadership, and I think we're set to see another repeat performance.
Well, let's hope so. Hopefully we get another strong performance. But then amongst the mid-pack as well, fully automatic again for another opportunity, getting high up in those points positions. That's a team we should be keeping an eye on. Nearly came out and performed the greatest 1v3 clutch in the world, but fell short at the bittersweet end. But they're another team that, again, with good points, can still make a comeback, especially with 2 rounds to go. If both potentially dangerous and Skyline can't score too much, fully automatic really can make an impact.
Yes, and so we'll certainly keep an eye on them. As we head to our game, we are going to give you a nice little map breakdown. The map, or the plane rather, went from west to east, slightly south to north, starting from Valadomar, going straight through Los Leones before finishing out on the other side of Spawn Island. So as we zoom out a little, there is going to be no teams north of San Martin. That means no water treatment drops for you or I, Hyper. So we're just going to have to take what we can get. We can see a couple of shots between the two, but for the most part, 90% of our teams are in zone. So we'll have to watch to see where the rest of the teams are going to rotate into. As always, we have a nice little AFI versus Platinum 7 fight going on as we tune into Hobie here. We've got quite a fun game 4 ahead of us, and I'm quite excited for it.
Well, especially with Los Leons out inside the zone, we're always gonna have that CQB fight that could go there. I would love to see a city end, as we haven't really had a city end zone for a long time. It usually becomes a lot of stalemating, a lot of sitting by windows, waiting for the moment to come out. So I would love to see that come through, but as of right now, it's very much. It's still on the table. It really is with this zone. It is 100% on the table that we could get this opportunity. This is Baby Joey. Gives a little tag, a little bit of information, but the SMG is going to be frying CQB. There's one. I don't think he realizes the second push it up, and that's huge as a trade comes through.
Yeah, now Emerita's he's gotta hop off the bicycle. He's gotta start running towards his teammate. As Zalati gonna be able to finish off the other two, Black Knight Myth, and Amir Slaps. So now there's 2 members of Phase 7 who, let's see if they're going to start pushing up, or if indeed they are going to start pushing up. It's Amir and No Mercy as they try to avenge their teammates.
Amir has that information. That is a horrible sight, by the way. Absolutely horrible. If you can use it somehow when we eventually play together, I will be impressed. But realistically, horrible sight, horrible position to find yourself in. But the information is going to be absolutely huge, as the Vector will spray down some damage. And early on, Platinum 7 been running amongst the mid pack really well, taken out early.
Yeah, Hobie with that M16 Vector combo. Quite the early game combo. We'll see them as they start to get more kitted here. We can see Phase 9 coming together, gifts, trying to give a little bit of a gift of his own. But as we turn back to the rest of the fights, we can see that the Academy is getting 4-piece by 3 different teams at the moment. I swear there's 3 different teams here. But it looks like just Happy Endings is taking them on, while the only locals are in the back. But I predict a nice little rotation out of here unless Droppa gets knocked.
Yeah, potentially Dangerous Academy stuck between a cliff and another cliff, and it's not a great position to find yourself in, because as soon as you try and push up one side, there's one team attacking you, go to the other, well, there's another, and they've not been wowing me today, the PD Academy. And that's something that, being an Academy team is very normal, as the tires get blown out, and that is horrible to see. And they're stuck in the middle of nowhere. The Academy squad, this is a mare. This is definitely going to be a day that they want to forget early on.
They are able to get back one on Droppa, but now comes in Hody as well as Happy Ending. They've got to make short work of this, and then they've got to get out of Dodge. It'll be interesting to see if they're going to take their beat-up car, or if they're just going to start running. My prediction is that they're just going to start running. Not good for potentially Dangerous Academy. This whole tournament, they just have not really done well. And to make matters worse, Hyper is taking shots from behind.
I promise I'm not the one taking shots, but the Eon Hyper is definitely taking some shots. And yeah, Eon again, third party. They've upped their ante for aggression, only running 3 players today, which is surprising with how well this team has been performing. Almost feels like if they had the 4th, it begs the question, what could they do with that extra man?
Yeah, you can do a lot with the 4th, but right now it's just 3 men and a dream. So meanwhile, as we start to get an overview of the circle that is coming in, we can see there's still lots of fight. We can see Dubhub is just absolutely bullying um, phase 9 here. So gotta feel for phase 9 not having the best one. Blurtsy's driving away, and then you've got the other team member right down there who looks like he's about to start fighting AFI. So we'll tune into his perspective as he has baby Joey looking at him with a mini 14.
He's still duck and dive between the buildings will keep you alive that little bit longer compared to being out in the open. And talking of being out in the open, Zoldy trying to push his way up,
Is he going
being
to
patient,
get
and I
far?
do appreciate slow gameplay, not necessarily over aggressive. As finally, here's the car, tries to run for any form of damage. There's one. Can he get the second? No, but at least he took one away, and that's a positive. Now the car is spun with no tires. Easy out of the open. 1 HP and a dream. Go on, find the foot. Find the foot. Nah, just gonna catch him out in the open. Done and dusted. Eon eliminated.
How is he still alive? That was literally holding on to a prayer and a dream. And it's potentially dangerous. Move in to grab a nice little crate gun. We'll check in with them, find out what it is later, as phase 1 zone. Yeah, phase 1 zones closes within the next 30 seconds. So, are we going to see them rack up the points? Are we going to see Skyline really pump it up and start to be more aggressive so that they can take back what we think is first place from potentially dangerous? We have a lot in store for you folks, and some great calls coming up from Hyper.
Yeah, a lot of early fighting going through, but this is kind of what we're seeing is a lot of teams dropping close to each other. They're quickly rotating, and it seems like the knowledge that this is going to be the second to last game, they're making sure they're being that little bit extra aggressive, which is why we're also seeing a few mistakes unfold as well. So that balance of being aggressive and being not so aggressive is so important. We thought Eon was out. No, they're still here to play. I don't know why it popped up earlier. I might be just losing my mind, but I tell you who isn't losing their mind is gonna be Happy Endings, who have definitely got a happy ending at this point in time.
Yeah, you can see them take out Eon VX there. They're already down one member of their squad, so now they've got 2. And not to mention, they just pulled up to where Exotic. He's gonna take another knock here, and he's gonna one-shot on Hyper. We've already seen what Hyper can do when it's him versus the world, so I think we might have a good fight here as long as Spence doesn't shoot his legs out, but we can see the smokes going out to potentially block anything incoming. But here comes the blue zone grenade.
Just misses. So Hyper will be able to get this revive back in, and in doing so, Eon back up to 2. A few emergency drops coming in, and this is critical to get a good rotation coming through. And I tell you what, an update has come in from the scoreboard. We're just waiting on what it is, but it's a 7-point lead. God, our admins are giving me suspense right now. Who's got the lead?
For Skyline?
Skyline
has 169 points. As nice little exchange there, but ultimately happy ending. So, as we go to the updated scoreboard, Skyline has 169 points, potentially dangerous with 161. So, just as we expected, Skyline, or potentially dangerous, has zoomed through the ranks. It's now a game between Skyline and potentially dangerous. Who's going to get these critical points here? We can see Skyline still alive, potentially dangerous. They
just
are
south.
Yeah, they're just south of them. We've got fully automatic with 112 points. Results may vary with 93 and to round out the top 5. The Dub Hub with 91, and honorable mention for Kinetic 7, who jumped up 2 places to 6 with 88, so they could take 5th. But right now, the ones to watch are potentially dangerous with that nice little links. Like I said, never want to be on the receiving end of it, as we can see. Oh, Bletch just misses becoming victim number 1. And Skyline, who is to their north and potentially moving into them. No, it looks like they're just hunkering down in there. But the ones to watch so far.
The thing is, both teams don't know who is on the opposite side. They don't know that is Skyline and potentially Dangerous as Habs. Well, that was free and easy. And thank you very much. Is there a second free and easy kill? Nearly gets it down to low HP, but Habs has to run away, throw the nade for a little bit of cover and protection. Not going to do any damage, but tell you what, free easy knock and great information. His team could start pushing in if they want to. They're not going to, because they've got a compound of their own. Happy Endings don't want to sacrifice that. They're just trusting Habs that he can cause some chaos and a little bit of damage.
Yeah, and as you can see, Shank just he eats a little bit of his words there, or a little bit of his own shots, but he's just causing so much trouble for everybody here. His skill overlook Ben's getting involved as well. So now that HV is seeing everything happen, he's gonna throw one final grenade and then hop back, but it's not gonna do anything as everyone's favorite Sandstorm comes into play.
Freeman.
Look at that booming sandstorm. It's going to cross over on the north side of the map. So you can use that as a quick rotation, a quick push, but 9 out of 10, you don't worry about it. But here comes potentially Dangerous. They're getting busy. There's a knock. Can he get the second? Looking as he dips and dives, primes, able to stay alive just to keep it going. But a nade and a molly might do the job to finish it off. Not going to do too much, but critically, potentially Dangerous. They will have the score sheet open. They probably will see the update just as we saw it. So now they know how much more aggressive they have to be. They got to make sure that they are taking calculated risks here and not going too far.
Yeah, and a big knock from Happy Ending, who looks to be making a nice little push, and a daring res attempt from Sparkles as he gets knocked as he tried to put Nem on their back. And Linkadox needs to be quick about this, but it's not the right play at this point, because here comes Bletch as he is gonna try and sneak inside and get a nice little extra couple points. But as you can see, the molly just got thrown on the ground and it's spreading out, so no potential oh, now here comes as the molly runs out. Look at that, taking him out.
Push up the stairs is the way to go. There's a small hole they can play through. It's just a little peeky hole, but it's enough to gather enough good amount of information. And that's a lot of information given away as he tries to drop in, tries to go aggressive, and it doesn't work to the way they wanted it. Potentially Dangerous out with a donut.
Hate to see that. You know, I think they got a couple points, but ultimately not the game for they needed. Now they've got to hope that Skyline also puts up a nice big donut, especially for skill points, or placement points. But we can see them moving, all 4 of them in a car. Dubhub has the chance to do the funniest thing, but for right now, it's Skyline's game for them to lose.
It really is. They just need high position points, good amount of kills, basically a near to perfect game, and Skyline will close this out. But a poor game, if they get a donut here as well, you still have that 7-9 point gap. And that's what they're trying to avoid here. That's why they're rotating early, anchoring down well, and allowing position points to be their advantage.
Yeah, the longer it really is a game about knowing when to be aggressive and when to not be aggressive. Now, of course, K7 deciding to pull up in the little gully. Oh, never mind. We won't see. We will be right back when we are able to pull it back up. But until then, You stay frosty.
Devil in a red dress. Call 911, I'm a killer. You know I hate to confess. Bang, bang, got my hand on the trigger. The devil in a red dress. Call 911, I'm a killer. You know I hate to confess. Bang, bang, got my hand. Call
All right, we are back, ladies and gentlemen. As we come back, we can see that Skyline still kicking, still fighting. They've got all 4 members there fighting. Kinetic 7 here. We can see the push out from G. So they are looking to be a little bit more aggressive. Get some of that lead back, or at least extend that lead more than just the 7 points. But we've got quite the finish as Phase 5 Zone puts us with only, what, 30% of the teams in right now.
A lot of rotations and a lot of fights will start to unfold, but of course those big buildings are what's keeping it alive. And let's be real, I'm getting another deja vu. Myanmar, we had a zone like this. We had a battle which was the hill that is coming from the southwest that kind of moves uphill once you get to the kind of edge of zone on the east side. That's a hill that goes up. So this compound down into the middle, low position. So deja vu, Crab. We're going again to a very, very similar zone, and it does question if the RNG of the zone is actually truly RNG.
I'm gonna go with yes, because otherwise I would have so many better games. But I definitely know what you're saying. It's eerily similar to last week's game 2 and 4, where we had zones just like this, where teams are fighting. Now we've got to get we've Gav trying to get away as Skyline makes a move on the soda cans.
Taking control of the compound gives you that little bit more comfort, less angles you have to cover and check. And plus, you know, well, it feels great when you're in a compound. It makes you feel locked and safe and snuggled. But Skyline taking it slow again. They don't want to over aggress, but they don't need to. There's still 12 teams in this lobby, and if they go for the push and get it wrong, it could be critical, especially with this fight against K7. K7, yes, only 2 left alive, but you also do have soda cans who are sitting inside of the compound. So it's a do we push, do we wait situation. All 3 teams play it tentative here.
Yeah, they're in a bit of a stalemate at the moment. So as we check in on Baba, you know, it's him versus Happy Endings, as Happy Endings takes the push. That MP3, he's trying to get reloaded. He gets one, he gets another, but he's not able to get the much needed knock. So now, not only do Happy Endings have control of this building, but they've got an MG3, personally my favorite gun out of the box. It's 75 rounds of pure chaos.
It's definitely fun, harder to control, but if you get it nailed, it's nailed. As the we head back to the stalemate that's between these guys. We are seeing soda cans losing one player though, so a good shot has come from somewhere. May that be amongst this trio, or from skill over luck in the distance, as they too have a propped up position that can cause a little bit of chaos.
Yeah, they skill over luck, just peppering people at this point. just nice some nice pepper on the chicken, if one would say. It's just not really doing much, not getting any kills, just being a real annoyance, that fly that just buzzes around you, as we see the rest of the teams, positions at the moment. Skill over luck, they are inside. AFI, they're in. Fully automatic, no recoil, he's in. But these 5 teams right at the north are still out. You've got potentially Dangerous Academy fighting Console Killers. You'll see Bletch taking out one of the members, but as we check in on our stalemate fight, that is no longer a stalemate. Augustix has been dropped, and Gav is looking to get some revenge.
Well, Gav will want the utmost revenge, get maybe 1 or 2 more kills, 6 kills and placement points. I'm not going to say no to that situation. You're sitting with a good, what, 8 points right now if you go out. I'm not going to say no. I'm not going to say no. It's definitely going to push Kinetic 7 up a little bit more, but there's another team eliminated as once again, happy endings. Again, another team that has stepped up, starting to becoming a little bit more aggressive in their play style because of that looming thought. This is that second to last game that we have in this series.
Yeah, I mean, the time to go was game 1 and 2 of today, but if you can cause chaos, cause a little, disruption to top teams, as Skyline finally showing up, getting kills left and right, making it known as one of theirs goes down to skill over luck. They have to deal with Soda Cans and the final member of K7, as none of these teams they're in, but they're not really in a safe position while they're in.
If they move south, they expose themselves, as well as we see K7 Gav able to get the final of the soda can. So now Gav is up against a team of 4. That nade landing good. It gets 2. Oh, that's huge. And now Gav has that information. Now he can start that rotation, and the zone starts to push in. The heals will come up. They will be able to pop it off, but by millimeters, they're in zone.
Yeah, they're going to get all of their members up here. A push by Gav that couldn't be, and now they have happy ending pushing in. Spence has plenty of utility. He's got 4 grenades in his backpack, and the grenades are starting to fly towards Skyline here as T-Boat gets re-knocked. There's 2 members down. So the grenades...
This is not good.
It's not good for Skyline whatsoever, but it looks like, there's one more coming in. A re-knock on Kiddos. They've got to be careful here as another grenade there's just a mobile red zone. Happy endings. Knocking T-Boat again. This is not good.
It's just knock after knock after knock. It just keeps on going down to 1. And the dreams of maybe getting this victory done and dusted are just coming against them. How in Mother's Lord has Valkyrie done that? How is he completely wiped happy ending? And he's going to get power weapons off it as well.
Not bad, that's something to say about it, but wow. Just, these are the best player. A bittersweet ending for Viklar. We just, as we were talking about, he just absolutely clutched it against happy endings. He was making his move into zone only for skill over luck to pepper him with their 5.56 guns. That MK12, it's just not meant to be for them. But he got his team not only an extra placement point, but he got them an additional 3 points as well. And that's going to help. Every little point helps, especially with potentially Dangerous not having a good finish, as we see Skill over Luck Marco finishing off K7. We're down to 3.
So we're looking at Affinity Esports against Skill over Luck. Skill over Luck have that height advantage, but no good cover. So that is the first problem that we're seeing. And then sitting in the background, fully automatic again, leaving themselves down to one player. And this is critical because we know what fully automatic can do with just one against a 1v3. Able to take away 2, damage the last down to the smither of health.
Yeah. Yeah.
So zone's got to come in. Zone's got to come in another time. We've got to be pushed inside of the phase 8 and maybe start seeing that phase 9 before we really get the action. But I think the push of phase 8 will be enough to end this game.
Yeah, not a real good spot for skill over luck. As we can see, they are out of the zone. They have 30 seconds to make a move to their left or to the right. I doubt they're going to be moving right. They're looking to get a knock on AFI here, who are inside the warehouse. Emeritus just kind of chilling behind, not really sure. I think he's doing his taxes. But you can see the smoke starting to come out. They're going to try and get to this area right here, which, as you can see in the bottom right hand corner where my camera location is in the zone, it is in the zone. But more importantly, there is a ridge here. We were talking about with Miramar, you've got to hope that you've got a good ridge, or you're going to get that good cover, which AFI has here. Omerta, these fellas, they just don't know that Omerta's hanging out behind. Maybe no recoil will expose that. He's trying to get that information with this jump. But now that skill over luck has rotated over here, we can see a little bit of movement from Omerta's camera in the bottom right. But this is essentially a 2v2 with their anchors filling out. But no recoil may have a shot on. No, he doesn't. It looked like he had that angle on Omerta here, but as we can see, there's really not much you can see. Maybe that foot. No, it's nothing. But I think Omerta's getting a lot of information for his team to prepare for this final fight.
Phase 9. Now the zone starts to push in 6 seconds, and now we're going to see them all clumped together. That is the middle point, will be inside of the building. So who will be the first to overextend? Well, I'll tell you what, it's going to have to be skill over luck. They're the ones right next to the zone. That nade landing close, so they know where American is. They know where the lurker, that information gatherer, is positioned himself. And Hobby is starting to peek out as well because he wants to make sure he's catching skill over luck with any head that pops over. But again, we can't rule out the fully automatic of no recoil, who again sneakily moves around, and this is brilliant. So he too could be a factor at the end of this game if they're not careful. But look at the zone. Slowly but surely forcing the players closer to each other. Those smokes have to be dropped, have to be popped, give themselves a little bit of a gap to push up to the building. That's their first objective. Can they get themselves to the building? Is priority 1. No recall finds Emerita, and that's a free kill for himself. Now it's a double-edged battle. Do they realize that it's no recall from a different squad? But here he comes. He has to push forward. Nade into the inside of the building.
Oh!
And he gets killed by a different nade, so not gonna help. Now it's down to a 2v2 as one gets knocked down. This is huge. One left, one in the open. Zalian is gonna do what he can, when he can, out in the open once again, pushes, uses the smoke to his advantage. Hubby as well, swings around the corner, done and dusted. Infinity gets a chicken dinner.
Wow, what Hobie and friends, Zlati, Hobie, Baby Joey, the boys. And of course, Omerta. I can't forget about Omerta, even though he put up 0 by there. But it's okay. They get 11 points. They get 11 kills plus that first place finish. They'll get 21 points here. Skyline. The more important report here is that Skyline finishes in 5th place for this map plus their 4 kills. So that, I believe, is about 8 additional points for them. And as you can see, well, as we go down to Team 13, emphasis on the 13, potentially dangerous. 0 points for both kills and for placement points. So Skyline's moving ahead by another additional 8 points, so they're going to have a 15-point lead. So, with that in mind, we're going to hit a quick break, and we're going to come back as we prepare for the final game of the BGE League Division 1.
Saber blade. Seek the light in darkness. Saber blade. Seek the light in darkness.
Devil in a red dress. Call 911, I'm a killer. You know I hate to confess. Bang, bang, got my hand on the trigger. The devil in a red dress. Call 911, I'm a killer. You know I hate to confess. Bang, bang, got my hand, bang, got my hand. Call
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for one last time. We go into what it will be the showdown with Skyline having that advantage, having that lead, and with an extension to that as well. Potentially Dangerous needs to be near to perfect going into our next map.
Yeah, as we can see, they've got a nice 18-point lead. Previously only 7, moving into game 4. But as we move into game 5, our final game, we'll take a look at this final map rotation. We move to Erangel. We're back in the homeland. My favorite map, your favorite map, Hyper's favorite map, our favorite shop spot, Salber. Not to be in this final flight path. However, the teams are starting to move in. What can we expect for this final matchup, Hyper?
Full out aggression or full out hiding. One of the two. There's no in between here. It is the final round, the final map, the final day, the final of the final to make progression. Some teams near the bottom are just going to do the effort strategy and just see what they can pull off at a last-ditch effort. The ones near the top have that choice. They can play safe. They can play for points in terms of positioning, or they could do the same as the lowers, go all out, go for the shots, see if they can get some easy kills. But I hope it is a bloodbath, and part of me hopes it goes quickly because I think that's just the trajectory this game should go.
Yeah, as we switch to our Xbox view, or not, as the Elgato decides to take a little bit of a poop. There we go.
There it is.
We can start to see this final circle, this final first phase. For the most part, all of the teams are a bit out. We've got some closeness with Primus here. But to finish off that statement that you were saying of, going all out, or, I think most teams are just going to have a little bit of fun here. I mean, why not? Especially if you're not Skyline or potentially Dangerous. Just have a bit of fun. It's a serious moment for the final map still. But why not? Just, do something that you're not normally doing in a tournament match. Pull out that Panzer. Heck, go double Panzer.
Double Panzer would be absolutely nuts. But I'm down for it. I'm down for it. Let's make this happen. Let's make it all unfold. As quite a shift as a lot of players rotate and they finally settle down. A lot of them inside the zone. So first zone battles are going to be minimal to zilch off the get-go. But that northern, excuse me, I'm getting the hiccups here. That northern side, absolutely nobody touching it. And we're going to see a few rotations, most likely 12 of the console killers. They will start moving to that upper region. We'll probably see 9 as well of skill over luck. Again, stay close. Maybe the edge of the shooting range or get close to the river. That's always an option as well to try and get that 50-50 in place. Because if this zone goes north, then we truly get back to a 50-50 scenario of is it a north pathway or a south pathway.
Yeah, I think either way, next threat, and potentially Dangerous Academy sitting nice and pretty. Interesting little thing we got going on here. I wonder if it looks like they're turning off, but potentially Dangerous is moving straight towards Skyline, which I've wanted a bridge block this whole time. I would love to see a bridge block. And if it all comes down to the winning team winning said bridge block, it'll be a finish for the ages. And it might not even come down to that because, say potentially Dangerous finishes off Skyline from this bridge block. Who's to say that results may vary? Are you going to come third party? So we have a lot of exciting action coming up. We can see that phase 7 is going to be EPUing out, or emergency pickuping out, or sorry, Platinum 7 moving out, we can see that actually Skyline is going left while potentially Dangerous going right. So Team 14, Phase 9 has a chance to do the funniest thing, but until this zone comes in, we'll have to wait and see.
We definitely have to wait and see if first of the gunfights will start to come through. You said something a little bit crazier has to unfold, and Soda Cans, well, they're doing exactly that, getting an early gunfight in Phase 1. Not a commonality that we see as the aggression from A-Pixel pushes up, easy free kill, and come on. Stop teasing us. Stop teasing us.
You can do it.
Get it done.
You can
there
do
it
it
is.
I don't know about you, but I've been using the Scar recently, and it's easily turned into one of my favorite guns. Not to flex, but I went 46 straight wins in the 1v1 arena using the P90 and the Scar. You know, people will be like, "You're using
Flex.
P90."
Oh,
though.
sorry.
But you know, I would mainly use the Scar unless somebody else was coming in at me with like a Groza or something like that. It's a very slept on gun. It's got a great fire rate, and you know, it hits just as hard as an M4. As we see Don't Miss doing his best bunny rabbit impression, and Pulse and him just going back and forth.
Well, Thumper has always had a thing about keeping the noise going, but that nade lands exactly where it needs to, and then Xim able to get the knock as well, so perfectly done. And this is unfortunate. Next threat really starting to lose a few players here. 2 knocked, 2 alive, and Tuzi, well, he's sitting on the outside. He's got to find a way to push up the hill because it's a swarm of Soda Cans sitting on the edge.
Yeah, I think Tuzi's just gonna do the smart thing, back off, as Point Man is just eating blue with that blue zone bag, but not looking good for Soda Can as they have to basically back off. They're gonna lose Hoot. Smokes are gonna go out. Don't Miss is gonna end up dead, and Tuzi in that final fight with Zim, he's gonna be able to take him out. So it's not so over for next threat.
Maybe not. Maybe not indeed. Staying alive, they keep themselves going. Or not. Point Man does exactly what we were hoping for, and finally takes it out. Team 20 first to go. Next threat, goodbye. Your whole series is done. Nothing major for them, but as you said, they went all out. They went aggressive and did exactly what I expected. But what's disappointing for you is Team 14 rotated away before the Skylines were able to push up. So that that bridge camping is not going to happen.
Well, you see, what's funny about that is as we go into first person for Skyline, you'll notice in the bottom left a nice little 2 next to the kills. So they actually did fight Team 14 Phase 9. As you can see, Blurtsy, only one person left, I think, on his team. He's got a shotgun and a smoke gun as RMV drives past him. Doubt they'll have anything there, but it looks like that Phase 9 is just slowly giving up. Maybe Zone will get him. Maybe he'll try and get a nice little kill. At least for, you know, do it for the good of the sport. Don't just lay there waiting, which it looks like he's going to. We've got Skyline pushing in. We've got AFI moving. Not sure what happened to Bentz over here, but he's all alone. And it looks like his team is having quite the issue on their landing.
Might be having a little bit, because guess what? Triple with the boom, getting 1. Not able to get the second. It's such a good weapon to have, but unfortunately not going to unfold the way they wanted it. Skill over luck getting taken out early. Well, a lot of their players taken out early. And console killers, well, doing exactly as their name says, killing, killing, and killing. They're getting aggressive as well. Everyone stepping up the pressure. Look at this, Platinum 7 coming in to join the party as well. More players, more fun, more action.
Yeah, definitely an interesting bit of events here as Ola gets, or Hala gets said hello to by Black Knight Myths Og. So his day is done. As you can see, the rest of the members of only locals trying to fire back. We can see Skill over Luck Marco getting bringing Benz inside, and just Turbot all alone. His team dead. They don't have much that they're playing for at this point, but you're still doing it for the good of the competition.
The good of the competition, the good of your country, for everything. Come on, we're doing it for everyone, anything, and everything, and that's exactly the fighting we want to see. But I'm seeing a lot of red bars for the 18-18. That's the dub hub. That's not looking too good. A revive will come in. It's their second. They're all back up, but critically happy ending. Well, the happy end comes to the end, and it's not the one they were expecting.
Yeah, not their best work in these past 3 days. I was certainly expecting more. The first time I came across them, they were so dominant. They looked like they were gonna win every tournament by 50, based on what I saw. As Linkadox gets a crucial knock on Zach Baby, no Sparkles will be able to finish it off, but the grenades and the smokes are flying as Shank is left in the field alone, surrounded by pink smoke.
Yeah, not much you can do. He's gonna most likely keep the pressure on, but eventually will have taken out. I think there's a rock that is keeping him alive. Oh, that's a good shot indeed. Yeah, a rock keeping him alive, but look at this. Team 10 results may vary. Start to push up. They're going to start to see and hear this gunfight as well, and in doing so, no surprise, they're going into a gunfight as we didn't even see only locals getting into the fight. Why is everybody so clumped together on a phase 2 zone?
Yeah, that's a great question. An even better question is how did potentially Dangerous allow Space Havoc to get on top? And now they find themselves in trouble as they've got 2 members down. Paulo Sam needs to run as fast as he can. As he's got Space Havoc coming in. He's driving to the left and to the right. Are they going to be able to knock him? Let's find out. Oh, he gets that knock, but he gets a res up as well.
Well, not going to be rest for too long, as you can see the Dub Hub coming back after a little bit of a shaky start. They really are going aggressive, as there's another. Can he get another knock? And that's huge. Potentially Dangerous is eliminated, which means, ladies and gentlemen, from this point onwards, Skyline are crowned champions of this series, and we're not even done with this game.
Yeah. What a finish. We all knew the stakes coming into this. We all knew the stakes of going into that fight and them needing to be aggressive. And we all saw the mistakes that potentially Dangerous made. Could they have fought that better? Absolutely. But I think, just as only locals experience here, sometimes you just fight another squad who just has the RNG luck here. Shout out my controller for doing this automatic switches, but as we saw, the results may vary, and this time the results are skewed towards these 4 right here. Maybe it's 3, but at least this team right here.
Well, they're going to be happy with that, but in doing so, the game shall still continue because there's still positions to be gained. Is there a monetary prize towards the mid-pack? No, of course not. But I tell you what is more important is the pride and position of being higher up. The sponsors amongst these teams would love to give them a little bit of extra dosh if they've got sponsors that pay out in that way. Quite rare, but,
Hey,
You never know what these guys could do.
I've seen weird things happen, but it looks like Bent's gonna be able to get away from Pulse. Pulse will get a couple of shots, but there you have Eon able to eliminate Bizarre, Quickman, and Pulse try to lay it on, but not to be. And as we just saw, the team that eliminated our second place finishers going down to results may vary. So, it's this game, it's a little bit of luck, it's a little bit of skill, and it's a little bit of where your location is. So it's important to know as we check back in with Pulse. Apparently, we'll head into the city. We can see from the bottom, we can see that skill over luck are finally getting back together. We can see that RMV making their rotation in. Same thing with Soda Cans, AFI, and we can see that Platinum 7 is taking an EPU in.
Well, an emergency pickup gonna land, put them inside of the city, but the city's already crowded. It's already full of a load of people as the bullets fly above to try and tag and get a hit. I think if you get any knocks while you're in an emergency pickup, that is impressive. That it is great shooting, but no surprise, landing into the city where the zone is slowly heading, and there's the bullets firing through. Let's see who can tag who. Nothing's hitting right now, but at least everyone knows where everyone is.
Yeah, it looks like Skyline in the right place, right time, yet again, taking out one member of Platinum 7 here. We can see that Vicalor's grenade is good and true, able to take out no mercy. But G gets slapped by Amir, and now it's all up to Amir as Izzy gets knocked by Vicalor. So, just a bit of cheeky fun, but at the same time, you have to wonder if Skyline know that they've won at this point, which is why they're being more aggressive than we've seen for the rest of the game.
Well, nonetheless, they're going to have to make this push. In they go. Amir going to get that early pick, but oh, wow. The MP5 is just annihilating them. And yeah, look at that confidence with an extra BM. A few extra lead doesn't hurt anybody.
Yeah, definitely. It won't hurt them for sure. As you said it, that MP5, it's many are a little disappointed with PUBG, with the way that they've buffed the SMGs, and I personally am very annoyed with how they've nerfed the shotguns. The weapon balancing, some are saying that this is the worst that it's been balanced in years, but some are saying that it's the best that they've done. I'm in between, because I love a good SMG, as we see Benz and Omerta start fighting with non-SMG. But some saying that the game is exactly where it should be, and I actually am tending to agree with that more than anything.
I'll tell you what's going to be helpful unhelpful is going to be that zone. As you can see, the heel off tries to fight against the damage that's being done. Nades left, right, and center. It's just landing all in the wrong places, as it seems to be Affinity able to take out skill over luck. And this southern zone is in control of Affinity.
Yeah.
7 teams remaining, 21 alive. We really are rattling through this game quickly, and zone still remains around the city.
Yeah, this has been I'm sure we're gonna see it slow down a little bit here, but it's definitely been one of our quicker games. We're 18 minutes through, and it's only phase 4, so. There's only 7 teams alive, I should say. Phase and the amount of time that go hand in hand. But there's 7 teams alive. In the previous 4 games, when it's come to phase 4, we would have seen at least 15 teams still there. Very, very much a way more aggressive game. You have to wonder, like I was saying before, do these teams know that Skyline have won it? Who knows? The results are going to come in one way or another. Results may vary. Certainly looking to have a good one here as Omerta gets knocked by Mr. No Recoil himself, and OG able to finish him off.
Yeah, from a distance, from afar, you could easily get those picks, and everyone is trying to push into that city line. Results may vary at this point of time. You might as well stay on the outsides, but they know if they can get into the city, it's a lot easier to rotate. They could smoke a lot more. But all I love from here is Soda Can splitting themselves up. They're confident in their individual skills. They're in individual buildings, and hence they're able to lurk their way through this city in a way. They're able to slowly move around.
Yeah, take it building by building at this point. You know, you've got no rush. You know, you're playing for pride at this point, but it certainly would feel a lot better to kill out the winning team in the final game than it would be to, you know, take out, you know, these whoever these people are, you know, these bums. K7, just kidding. Great people, great team. As you can see, they have control. We've got the amazing, who is doing the mortars. I love that. You know, get a little funky with it. Have a little fun. Shoot all the rockets. Get a tack bag, fill it with rockets, as AFI going to crash into RMV here, and boy, what a decision that was. It's definitely one of the decisions of all time. We'll see as RMV able to take care of them.
Kamikaze it to the bittersweet end, and well, 6 teams left in this game. The winner, as we've mentioned from time and time again, has been decided and won. They still are fighting, so they could still have fun to the end. But this zone, this is the critical one. What are we going to see from the Phase 6 zone? Are we going to stay within the city, or are we going to see it push more to the open? Because if it pushes more to the open, it's going to be results may vary's advantage. They have been playing outside. They've opted not to push into the city, and it's a risk because in doing so, they have no cover, no compound, no nothing. K7, time and time again, just finding the right place, right time, and lock down their position, and have not moved for the majority of the match.
Yeah, and I don't know if you know this, or for those that at home that don't know this, that police station where K7 is one of the most difficult places to get into. If you have an EP and you land on top, you're gonna have better results here, because there's a single, like where K7 Gav is, that is a staircase that goes all the way down. There is 3 floors that have direct line of sight into that staircase, and it is nearly an impossible push. So K7 certainly has the advantage here, but as we see, the zone shifted more towards the advantage of results may vary, and as you beautifully just said, you know, they have been waiting patiently out there. They have the positioning, and they've set themselves up for the best finish.
Well, they just need to get it to the end. And, well, you said about if Skyline would know. Skyline don't know. I just remembered they don't get notifications. They won't know anything. There's a 10-minute delay on this stream as well.
Ooh,
Unless they're watching the stream, they might know from then. But in doing so, 1 player down. It's down to only Valkyrie, Volk Lord. It's just when it gets good, the game crashes.
We'll be right back. And we are back for what is going to be one of the final phases of the final day and the final match of the BGE League Division 1. As we can see on the right side, we have K7 and RMV. Results may vary, being in the best spot, and we have the fully automatic fighting both soda cans and Skyline. But without any further ado, let me pawn you guys off to my wonderful co-caster, Hyperactive.
I'll tell you what, I'm looking near the top. I'm looking at 13 of soda cans and 4 of Skyline, as they both individually only have one player left. There it is. That's what I was waiting for. And now critically, it's down to a 4v3, v3, v1. Skyline still won't have known that the victory is theirs. No announcement has officially been put out, but we know they've done it. 15 are fully automatic. They've been frying, getting within this top bunch quite often, the top 4 on multiple occasions, but it's always been Kinetic 7 that seems to be the damage killers, the ones that really been playing the best, as those are critical shots from Kizza. Just can't get the knock.
Yeah, collectively they have over, I think they have just about 1,000 damage between all 4 members, but they only have 1 kill to show for it. So as Lycor starts to make its rotation left to right from our perspective, we can see that Antipath taking shots at RMV. So RMV is going to have what appears to be 3 of 4 of their players left, unless I did not count correctly. It is only 2. So we've got a 4v4v2 and Viclor. That certainly is a wonderful display from Skyline, as they are going to be our winners. Finish top 4 with a plethora of kills, but now we've got our final 3 in our final game.
Well, if you want the battle to go down to bittersweet end, this is the way to do it. But that Kizza able to get 1. There's possibly an opportunity to get a second. A good molly might be able to come out and finish it off. The fire coming through. There's the second knock. And in doing so, now this opens up the door as fully automatic are in a horrible situation. As Boise for Gav takes a lot of damage in doing so. But this is looking great for Kinetic 7.
Yeah.
A 3v2v2, but 2 players not fully eliminated.
Yeah, we can see OG going for the aggressive revive on no recoil. It doesn't look like Kizza or Gav know that he is getting revived there, and Zinc is certainly holding it down from the back. So Kizza, who is going to jump up there and ultimately pay the price. I don't know if you just saw that, but Baba just picked up a rocket launcher as the grenades start flying, and there's 1 member of fully automatic still alive, and we suddenly are down to a 2v2v1.
More close to the zone. Will push to that middle building where Primes is situated, so he can sit still, hide all the way, and he will have the advantage. But the kills finally going into Kinetic 7's favor, as it's a stalemate for now. We have to wait 30 seconds before the zone pushes in more, but Antop, Autopop, he's got some information. He knows where 1 is, but he just can't get the angle without overexposing himself. As the rocket launcher nearly goes in. Oh, that was dangerous indeed.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Why not? Have some fun with it. You know, really enjoy yourself. You gotta wonder if he's gonna go look for another one. He picks up a shotgun. But, you know, Prims has that P90 Zinc. Kind of just hanging out. K7 have the height advantage here on all sides, so they'll likely just stay up there the whole time as the other 2 teams move in between them. But now we wait for the rest of Phase 8 to come in. We have approximately 40 seconds for Phase 8 to finish out. So until then, we'll just see a bunch of Sniper boys just bopping up and down, trying to get those final kills. But what a final game we've had so far.
I think Zink's taking zone. Zink is not going to allow those free kills to start to come in, and no surprise, he does try and stay away for as long as possible. Down to a sliver. No, he's running. Grimes takes the sneak away, and that's a big information, realizing that the kill came through, but it was not from them. So he's close. He's close indeed. And the question is, do you stay on top of this building where angles are a little harder, but you are safe on top? Or do you play aggressive and go for the final 2 kills? Because it's a 2v2 situation here.
I think you stay up there. There's really no reason to go down, especially now you got that first
That's
kill.
huge!
Yeah, you had that first kill. You know that Prince has a P90. You know, I'm staying up top. I'm not trying to get anywhere. Maybe I'm trying to do perfect grenade off of the backboard, or you throw it down and you follow it down with it. But you know, that's certainly what they're gonna do. You can see one player is still down, one of them is up. The information is being fed to him, but you know, you also know that he has a P90. So how aggressive can you really be?
Aggressive enough. That's a good angle. And trying to get a little bit of an angle, but he just can't seem to find it. Anastock, autistic, able to get one, but it will be a second. Done and dusted. It's Kinetic 7 taking it, and with a 2,200 damage combined, Kinetic 7 takes the final map, but your victors of the entire tournament will go to Skyline, as they went forth with 9 kills to finish it off.
Yeah, and as we head back to the caster's corner for one final chat, we can see the boys, they, you know, below, you know, obviously it's not updated fully, but we know based on what we just saw, that action-packed final game where, you know, everything was on the line, but also nothing was on the line for 16 of those teams. So we saw potentially Dangerous go in with that fight with Dub Hub. They were not able to get it done. And then on the flip side, Skyline just doing what they needed to do when they needed to do it. And we, you know, the first 3 games, not great for them. Not great for them at all. It's potentially Dangerous who came within 7 points of taking over first place. But ultimately, we saw them. They had 9 kills. They came in 4th. There was no doubt that they were today's winner.
So there's no doubt in our mind, and it is an impressive way to go forward. We thought potentially Dangerous were going to come back aggressive throughout the first 3 maps, but then the falter came at Myanmar, and this allowed Skyline to have that advantage to come in, put up a good score and a decent score to extend their lead to a near impossible scenario, and then continuing the aggression to fail at the end, potentially Dangerous. Hats off to them for closing the gap and making this a close ending, but just falling short.
Yeah. So, from everyone here at BGE, I'm Crabber TV. This is the Hyperactive. Follow us. Our ats are right there. You can find us on Twitter. You can find us on Twitch. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on all platforms. We all want to say a very congrats to the BGE League Division 1 winners, Skyline. You guys put up a hell of a 3-day series. We also have more coming at you at 9 o'clock as the North American League will kick off. But until next time, Hyper, I hope you have a great rest of the weekend. I hope you have a great week, and we will see you